Hey there everyone, it is Maria Young here, and I sure do thank you guys so much for hanging out with me right here at my Orchid Adventures. So as you guys know, about 2 months ago I did decide to make such a critical decision on how I was giving my orchids fertilizers and also their supplements. And I decided to go on an all organic homemade fertilizer and supplement route. And many of you guys did ask me to keep you posted and also give you guys updates, so I definitely am going to be doing that today. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain to you exactly why I decided to go the more natural, the more organic, the freshest possible way of utilizing fertilizer and also supplements for our orchids. I wanted to get to the root of the matter, okay? Because when you are talking about fertilizing, you're talking about the NPK, you're talking about the pH balance, you're talking about the types of material and also the water that you're using, and you're talking about the minerals and the natural substances in the media and also in the water as well. So there's so many things involved. Sometimes it can get confusing and also a bit frustrating as well. And I have to tell you, I am a very simplified person. So again, I wanted to get to the root of the matter, and I also wanted to get down to the basics of fertilizing and also how our orchids get their fertilizer. And that's exactly how I came to my conclusion. Now, what I've always wondered, folks, is how do orchids grow so well and so lush and so beautiful? How are they at their healthiest and greatest bloom potential right out in nature? I mean, how do they get their fertilizer there, and how do they reach their fullest and greatest potential with the type of fertilizers they get in nature? Now, I do know that climate and conditions and atmosphere does have a lot to do with the way they grow, but I also believe that the way that they are being nourished also has a great deal and a key element to why they are so healthy. Now, we've got to understand that in nature, somehow, some way, they are able to manage and get everything that is required and is needed by the orchids from their natural environment. And they're getting their nutrients, their supplements, their fertilizers, their minerals, their potassium, their calcium, all from nature. And they're getting that from animal and plant and vegetation debris. They're getting it from feces and droppings that animals and critters and insects leave behind. But again, it is all natural, all organic, no additives, no preservatives, no toxic chemicals. Nothing is processed. It is all organic, natural, and easy to digest by our orchids. And that is why it was important for me to do my research on these organic fertilizer supplements and find out exactly how these alternatives can work and also work as well, and if not better, than these store-bought fertilizers. So let's talk about the measurement and also dosage of how these orchids are getting their fertilizer. Now, as you guys know, they don't get their fertilizer once a month. As a matter of fact, you are more likely to get some form and trace of supplement or fertilizer on a daily basis via the humidity and moisture level or even the rains that they receive. And again, they are getting their fertilizer through the vegetation and the debris, also decayed matter, droppings, and feces from animals as well. So indeed, it is quite sporadic in the variety of supplements and fertilizers that they can get on a daily basis. So when I water my orchids and I also fertilize them at a very weak dosage, a variety of different fertilizer and supplements supplements. To me, at least, the reason to my madness and the logic to my method is that they are getting a buffet of different kinds of fertilizers and supplements as they would in nature, because nothing is guaranteed and nothing is exact in nature. Again, it's very sporadic, but they are constantly getting something. Now, you guys do know that I do grow my orchids right outdoors, and majority of my orchids are bare rooted, so I'm capable of growing my orchids and watering them and fertilizing them in this method. Now, for those of you that actually grow your orchids indoors, your watering and fertilizing method may be different, but I do think the key element of organic fertilizing is really to be capable of providing a variety of different fertilizers and supplements for your orchids. So what variety of organic fertilizers can you use for your orchids and your plants? Oh my gosh, the options are absolutely endless. You can almost use any material and any plant or vegetable to make your organic fertilizers. Believe it or not, they actually use common weeds that are growing in your garden and your landscape as fertilizers as well. Yes, you can do it. So let me go ahead and show you some of the fertilizers and the supplements that I have already made and I'm currently using for my orchids and my plants, and also tell you some of the material, also the plant, vegetation, foliage, vegetable, or fruit that I've used to make these fertilizers and supplements. Now, please keep in mind that this is a variety of different fertilizers and supplements, and some of these fertilizers and supplements are not actually being used on orchids, but I did want to give you a variety and just to show you that you can use a lot of different materials to make fertilizers for all of your plants, your vegetables, and also your orchids. Now, the fertilizer that we do have right here is seaweed extract. I actually use sargassum seaweed, and if you guys want to know exactly how I made that, you can click on the link right here and it'll show you exactly how that was done. Now, this particular fertilizer right here, I usually water my orchids weekly with this substance right here. And in this container right here, I did concoct a fertilizer made out of orange peeling, and this fertilizer right here is really going to be great for your acidic loving plants, your shrubs, and also your fruit trees. And right here we have our aloe vera water that was made from fresh aloe vera, and indeed this is a well-rounded supplement that is great for all of my plants and especially my orchids, of which all of them just seem to love and adore. And yes, I am even using rice to make supplement for my orchids and my plants. This is actually the water that I use to rinse off my rice, and I will put it to good use again for my orchids and also all of my plants. And if we take a close look at the very bottom, you are seeing eggshells. This is my eggshell water that I'm using as a supplement. Indeed, fabulous for your calcium. And believe it or not, I even use mango peeling to make a supplement, and this is something that I've also been using on my orchids and also in my garden. Now, with this vegan diet right here, I did also include some meat. This is the fish emulsion that I am using, also included in my fertilizing method. Now, these are not the only supplements or the fertilizers that I do intend on using in the future. I am in my experimental stages. I do plan on including the meringue fertilizer because it is so beneficial and healthy to my already nice menu that we have right here. But indeed, I am still figuring out different ways and different materials and vegetations to use, and I'm trying to come up with the best and perfect plan for me. Now, the way that I dilute the fertilizer and the supplements and also water my orchids and my plants, I actually use this handy dandy sprayer right here that is connected to the hose, so therefore the solution that is contained within this container right here will be diluted with the water that comes from the hose, and therefore we are going to have a good and weak strength of the fertilizer or the supplement. And the great thing about this sprayer right here is you do have the option of changing the measurement that you want to use per gallon that you're going to use to water your orchids or your garden. And as you can see, there's a lot of different options you have. And what I normally use is actually the 1 teaspoon to 1 gallon, which is right here, folks. I did want to let you know that I am not being sponsored in this video. I just wanted to let you know exactly what I was using, for the simple fact that this sprayer right here is so durable and also very easy to use, self-explanatory, and that is how I like to keep it. So indeed, this is the sprayer that I opted to go with, and you can find this at Lowe's or your Home Depot, and I think I purchased it for about 15 buckaroonies. So indeed, a great deal for what we need. And as you can see, folks, there is a whole slew of different materials and substances that you can use to make your fertilizers and your supplements. The main rule of thumb that I definitely go with is doing your research on the material or the substance that you are using, because you definitely want to know exactly what is in it, such as your vitamins and your minerals, such as your nutrients, your different many growing hormones, and your compounds that would be beneficial for the plants. You definitely want to make sure that what you're using is good for the plants and not actually harmful. I know, guys, the Cattleya is totally out of the bag. These big time fertilizing companies, I'm sure, would not want you guys to know that there is an alternative way, one that works just as good, if not better, and the fact that you can make your own fertilizer, save a whole lot of money, and your orchids will flourish and bloom just the same. Now, if you are deciding to give organic growing a try, I will have to let you know that there might be a bit of a trial process to find out exactly what would work best for you. But welcome to orchid growing. We are in our experimental stages for most part of our growing experiences. So indeed, that is a part of the process, folks. And that's what I've been doing, and definitely wanting to share with you guys exactly what is working for me. And indeed, in the future, I'm going to give you an up close and personal look so you can see for your eyes as well exactly what's been going on in my orchid world, which I have to tell you is absolutely amazing. Unheard of for me, because I am seeing some very unusual yet beneficial things that are going on with my orchids. Oh yes. And the reason why I haven't opted to share it with you yet, again, I'm in my experimental stages, and there are so many things that I yet still want to try out. And when I do, I definitely will give you my formula in exact to its detail, and exactly how I water and fertilize my orchids on a regiment or on a schedule. I'll give you the facts, the detail, the nitty-gritty. And that's basically all I can do, folks, is share with you my information, discoveries, and things that I have learned along the way to perhaps give you an alternative or another means and a way of growing your orchids, especially if what you have been doing has not been exactly working out for you. So indeed, I hope that you have learned something new from what I've shared with you, and I do understand that this right here is not for everybody, and some of you will prefer to go the store-bought method route for fertilizing your orchids, and that is absolutely fine. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to learn more about store-bought fertilizer and exactly how the nutrients and how the pH balance and the NPK works, I definitely would recommend Rick L. Orchids. He definitely is the man for the job that will definitely break things down for you, where it is also not just digestible for the orchids, but will also be digestible for you as well. And if you want to check him out, go ahead and click on the link right here, and it'll take you right to his channel. And in my next video, I definitely will be showing you exactly what's been going on with my orchids ever since I started using the organic fertilizing method 2 months ago. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And with that being said, I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of My Orchid Adventures, and I'm hoping that you did learn something new from this video, and I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to like, share, and also subscribe, and make sure you check me out on Instagram and also Facebook as well under My Orchid Adventures, of course. Thank you guys so much, and as you guys already know, I do truly love and appreciate each and every one of you guys all, and I will see you guys later, and I'll also grow with you guys later as well. Bye bye for now. Mwah.